Hi Aries, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. Your key to the week this week is the Hermit card. This is likely to be a slower week for you where you really are pulling back into yourself. Remember, with the Hermit card, we tend to pull away from the world. This is where we're taking time for ourselves to reconnect, to maybe for a lot of you as well, this is a week of recalibration. So this could be a week where you really are starting to think or rethink your goals, your destinations, some of your desires and your dreams. This could also be a time where you're starting to really think about clearing up your space, as in the place that you live, and also the place that the space that you inhabit, which is yourself. So cleaning up the mind, body and soul and environment over the course of this week, but doing it in a very quiet or potentially quite a withdrawn kind of way. Now, if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and this resonates, hit the subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your actions and options this week, you have the Five of Wands. So your actions and options suggest that you are getting very proactive this week, but you're getting very proactive behind the scenes. This is likely you pulling away from, the hustle and bustle in some way, especially because you've got it here with the Hermit card. This could be you getting really proactive about cleansing, clearing, your mind, body, spirit, and soul. And also, and space, sorry. What I will also say as well, because it's the Five of Wands as an options card, this does suggest that this week I think you're going to start to remove the elements that maybe don't necessarily bring out the best in you. So this could be a moment of pure honesty about friends, family members, people that you interact with. It could be as well where you're removing maybe not necessarily your support but your attention from a group. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Hangman. So this is likely to be a very quiet week. I am going to say this probably as well for some of you. It's likely that you won't be hearing from friends. It's likely that you're just really insulated this week, because the Hangman is about delays, yes, surrender and sacrifice and all of that, but it really is a card of maybe things slowing down and being a bit more internalized. You couple that then with the Hermit card and you have a double hit of, sorry, that was my knee that clicked. You have a double hit of this kind of withdrawn energy. So there's a lot of really deep thought this week about who you are, potentially where you've come from. For a lot of you, when it comes to communications, it's likely to be slow. I think this is for a lot of you where your week, or certainly your year, is really starting to get to that point. You have that massive rush before the year really starts to wind down, and this could be that week where everything really starts to kick in for you. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, look, I'm going to be really honest with you. If you're not liking your studies, if you're not liking the current setup, give it a little longer just to see how you settle in. All right, it does look like a lot of you are maybe feeling that homesickness. Maybe you're feeling that kind of pang of like, oh my gosh, starting to realize that real life is actually a lot harder than being at home under your parents. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, it does look like you are either removing yourself from the fray, or you are going to find that this week you are very much left to your own devices. This isn't always a bad thing. In fact, for a lot of Aries, this is actually a good thing. When it comes to those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this could be a week where business potentially slows down, or you are taking time away from the business to really think about what you're doing next. There's a lot of reflection here. There's a lot of, like I said, recalibration for a lot of you, which actually could be a really good thing, because it suggests you building up your resilience for the future. Now, because the Hanged Man has a very it's very Neptunian, so therefore it can be linked to creativity in a lot of ways. This might be a really good time for you to think about ways that you can maybe bring some more creative ideas, or start creating more ideas, products, services for the future. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, Honestly, I get the feeling this is you choosing to kind of stay out of some kind of drama. So you could be seeing something play out in your family, maybe in a friendship circle, and it's like, you know what, I'm not touching that. That's not a little bit of me, and I'm really not interested in getting involved with it. That is probably the best stance that you could take this week, and it's also going to be the way that you can really hear yourself think. For love and relations, you have the Judgment card. With this much reflective energy, for those of you that are single, in fact, for those of you that are partnered as well, you could be thinking of an old partner, an old lover. You could be thinking of an old relationship. Some of you may be in that space where you're wanting to romanticize that relationship. For a select few of you, you might be reaching out to somebody that you dated before. Maybe for a lot of the time, this is for like resolution, or to, finally bury a hatchet of some kind. If you're single, maybe you are seeking that reconnection as well as resolution. It is the Judgment card, and you've got this under the guise of the Hermit. So there's something here where you are really reflective. You're really looking very deeply over past relationships, past connections here, that will see you really digging into how you felt as a part of that. For some of you as well, this might be a time where you realize, you know what, that person that I dated maybe wasn't actually as toxic as I thought I was. Maybe there were elements of me that needed to change. This could also be that maybe you're looking at the relationship as a whole and kind of deciding, you know what, actually it wasn't as bad as I remember it. For some of you, it might even be, you know what, it wasn't as good as I remember it. There is a moment of clarity here about a past relationship that really, I think, actually will free you up when it comes to relationships in general. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this with the Five of Wands, I think for a lot of you, this could be you and your significant other maybe going back to some workout regime. Maybe you're picking back up an old diet. There's something here where you're kind of saying, yes, you know what, we did this before and it worked for us. For your money and materials, you have the King of Swords. So when it comes to paperwork, agreements, documentation and stuff, remember Mercury is still retrograde at the moment, so you're having to be very conscious about any money moves that you're making. But when it comes to your resources and your finances, this is actually quite nice. And the reason I say this is, your King of Swords, when it comes to money, this could be making more money from the job, or for a lot of you, this could be you looking further afield in order to make more money. So you're looking for a pay rise. You're starting to get really serious about, where can I go? What can I do? Are the skills that I have transferable? Like this week, I think you're really digging into how you move into the next part or the next leg of your journey, which is really, really important. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, I always say with this card, it's like heavy is the head that wears the crown. So you might find that this week, because the mind is so active, because you are so deeply reflective, maybe it's hard to sleep. Very possible. For some of you, maybe all you want to do or feel like doing is sleeping. And a big part of that is because your mind right now is really processing things at a very deep level. Not only that, we are now at this point, we're now in Libra season. So the sun is literally right the way across the horizon from you. So you know, all of your energy is basically out in the world. And so you're a lot more reflective or internalized at the moment. When it comes to your physical, your home and environment, the King of Swords, paperwork, documents, contracts, anything to do with the home, especially where it comes to plumbing, waterworks, anything of that nature that might need to be repaired or to be looked at. If it's going to come up, it will likely be this week. All right, so with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.